time, we're taking a look from Takara, the Japanese dealer of Transformers. We're taking a look at the new masterpiece. So this is a very expensive toy. And the reason why I got this is because I had missed out on the original Masterpiece Prime, which is a little bit different, has a lot more electronic and other kind of features. But that now is about twice of what it cost originally, which is about what this costs now. So I decided to go ahead and purchase this one, and it was either this or, as many of you know, I am a casual fan of the Masters of the Universe, so I thought about getting a subscription to the Masters of the Universe figures through MattyCollector.com, but ultimately decided to spend my money all in one shot on this guy. And so right now we're just going to take a look at the box. Very nice box. Pretty big too. And you can see that on the back, of course, all the information is in Japanese. Not a big Japanese reader, but you can pretty much understand what they're telling you about all the different features of this guy. And so we'll take a look at the inside. Get this guy open. See, there's a piece of tape here, and that's pretty much it. And you open it up, and very nice. I really like the way the Japanese package this. It's all in a plastic tray. So, of course, you're going to get an instruction booklet, all in Japanese. Nice art in there. And on the back, they give you a nice history of Convoy in all his many forms. Of course, you would recognize most of these as different forms of Optimus Prime, and they also have Rodimus Prime in there. This goes all the way back to the original 1985 figure or toy, right up to the Hot Rod Masterpiece of 2011. You have some sort of prize or contest, and you get a little trading card, which I believe the vintage characters came with stuff like that, and that has a picture of both the robot mode and the alt mode, and you can see here tech specs. I can't really translate what they are. You lift up the section of the tray here, and this is great because he comes with a lot of different things. Not only do you get the figure, but you also get the trailer. And he is a bit shrunken down. He's a little bit more in scale with the Rodimus figure that came out just previous. And I think he'll fit in also with my masterpiece Grimlock. So I'm going to try and cut it off here and see how we work out there. So here's Prime. So first off, I really like the details in this figure, this version of Prime, and you can just tell. You can see the window wipers, the rivets, details all over the figure. It's got this nice chrome and these translucent plastic parts. Very nice. He's even got some die-cast metal in his feet and a little bit in his arms, and I think there's some in the mid-torso area, but it could just be thick plastic. But it is mostly plastic, so it's a little bit, I don't know, if you have the first version, there's a lot more die-cast in that, so it might feel a little bit more worth it, I guess. But I really love the articulation in this. It is great. His head goes left and right, up and down, very nicely. Arms have rotation back, a little stiff. You can pull his arms out to get more shoulder articulation, but generally you can get all the way around here and a little bit forward and back and up and down. He swivels here and bends at the elbow. His wrists swivel. He's got articulation in his fingers. In his 3 lower fingers are jointed together, and his index finger, his index finger has 2 joints in it. Pretty cool. And that's both hands. And his wrists rotate. He's got waist rotation. Very nice hip joints. Very clickety, ratchety joints. Always nice to hear that. And unfortunately, he doesn't have the articulated flaps here that help with the leg posability. It doesn't look as if you lose as much articulation here as you would if the original figure were solid up here. So that's pretty cool. And he goes out to the side. Again, very stiff sounding joints here. Yeah, that really odd sound. And he rotates here at the upper thigh. That's pretty nice. Ratchety joint at the leg. He can bend that far and this far forward. Although why he would want to bend this far forward, I don't know. There's no reason why he should. He rotates at the knee. His feet go forward and back a little bit, as well as pivot. So you can get a lot of dynamic poses with him. I am kind of a little bit disappointed. I had thought initially that this guy was going to basically do everything that the old figure did, just shrunken down and minus the electronics. They had light up electronics for the Matrix and his eyes. I don't know if they meant for there to be light piping in there and they just eliminated it, but he is kind of lacking in the eye area. And the first figure had flip-up communications panels on his wrist, and this one doesn't have that because the transformation is slightly different, and so I'm missing out on that. Now, the best feature, I think, the one that I wanted, is the Matrix. And you go, just open this, crack open his chest, flip this part up, and there you can see the Matrix. And we'll try and get it out. And the Matrix is very nice die-cast metal with a translucent gem or plastic gem in the middle there, and really nicely painted. You got this orangey color, just wonderful colors. I can tell get some of the light to pass through it. Maybe you can see how cool it is. There we go. But yeah, so neat little thing. It is just a bit small for him to hold. I believe the original one, it is a bit bigger and more in scale, so he could actually fit his hands through the sides here, the ends here, and it actually opened up a little bit. And I'm just going to put that back in there. Now, this guy has a pretty cool new feature. And he has a storage for his weapon. And see, here's his blaster. Pretty cool, looks just like his, or pretty similar to his classic blaster, or I think it's called an ion cannon. And this folds up and stores in here, and to fold it, it just folds up here, and you push in until you hear a click, and it stays like that until you hit this little gray piece, and it will automatically deploy. Pretty cool. And it goes just like this, stores right in the back here. And a little piece pokes out the bottom, so that when you want to pull it out, you just simply push up on that little piece, and you can pull it out and deploy it. It's got a little rectangular peg here, and in both sides he's got a slot there that it can go into, and it takes a little bit of maneuvering here. He's holding his blaster. Pretty damn cool. And there. Also a new feature are his little antennae things up here, which I think on the original were sort of a soft plastic. This is a hard plastic, very brittle, so I'd be very careful of this. And they do go forward and back a little bit, so you can kind of play with it. I just tend to keep them straight up. His other accessory is an updated Energon axe. And in the first figure, you would have to replace the whole hand here. This time it just fits over his hand like so. And there he is with his Energon axe. And he's got these neat little spiky things coming out from the axe. And it's a nice translucent orange material. Very soft. Much softer than the other plastic here. Now you can still get the wrist articulation here. We'll put him aside for a little bit. We'll move on to the trailer. And really cool, just taking them on the side here. You can flip these stands down right here and have the trailer stand like that. The original one only had a single stand in the front here. If we open the back doors here, and we can pull out a ramp, and we have the little roller, and we'll get back to the roller in a bit. I just want to point out lots of nice details on the bottom of this. You can see they got the spare tire here, lots of different details. And to get this into base mode, just like the original, you can pull these out, but an added bonus is these little feet extend automatically. And that's on both sides. And we can split this open right down the side, and we have something that is pretty close to the original. You have the little service drone here. It's got a little radar dish here. Rotates, goes up and down. It's got the claw arm that extends, folds down, rotates, is double jointed here. The claw opens and closes, and it can also be positioned like so. There's lots of neat little details on here that replace all the cool stickers that were on the side of the. You even have little spots here, just like in the original, but this time they've included a little figure to that fits in anywhere you choose to put him. You can put him down there, over here, or you can put him in the drone. The figure, of course, is supposed to represent Spike from the cartoon series. Now this also has a storage feature for the weapons. You can put the axe in on this side, and the blaster in on this side. But what's cool is if you look down there in the trailer mode, you can't see the little drone, service drone thingy there. You can also convert this to the little service bay mode. by standing it upright. And let's get Prime back in there. So you can have the little service droid here kind of operate on Prime if you want. And if you want, just like the original had holes, you can flip these little pieces down and you can have the little drone sticking out like that. Just like to note, on the trailer, the Autobot symbol is raised. It's not a sticker. The one thing that I regret is that there is no launch mechanism for Roller here. That would have been neat to have included, and they seem to have opted out on the missiles that would go in the drone. Also want to note that the wheels on here are rubber. Nice detail here. You can see the tail lights. If you flip out this little panel here, you can take Prime's blaster and slide it into there, so you can have a little attack weapon there. And Spike here, of course, fits into Roller as well, so you can have him driving around. And also, you can flip this down and flip this up, and you'll see that there's a clip-on there. What you can do is connect that on to Roller, and Roller can roll Prime's trailer around as well, and he can do a full 360 underneath there. Pretty neat little addition. The original Roller couldn't do that. I'm not going to transform this guy on screen, so I'm going to cut back to him in vehicle mode. So we're back, and we got Prime in his truck mode, or the cab part. And he is nice. Very nice. Much improved over the first one, the first Masterpiece Prime, from what I can tell. Very nice flat surface here, as opposed to the original one. Kind of was the windshields here kind of stuck out a little bit, so it wasn't quite a flat surface. First you have the Autobot symbol there. Very nice. It still carries over from the shoulder. You got nice wheels, all rubber wheels. Very nice. Smokestacks, nice, with the kind of a little bit different. They have the angled cut look, but very nicely chrome looking. You got the fuel tanks here that are chromed out, the wheel wells all chromed out, nice chrome on the grille, his headlights, and the spoiler here. Very nice details all along the side here with rivets. You see a diamond pattern there in the steps for the to get up into the car, into the truck cab. Very nice details. You even have details here from the transformation here. You can kind of see a drive axle there. So very, just absolutely wonderfully detailed. Even have rear view mirrors, so that's pretty cool. I do have a couple of gripes. That is, the legs here in the back, they don't seem to be able to stay clipped together. There's just too much tension at the hips pulling them apart. That's unfortunate. I mean, and it really, you don't notice it that much, though, so it's not too bad. Wonderful alt mode. Except for the pulling apart of the legs and these little back things where the feet can't lock into position either, so they seem to rotate. You notice these two slots here, and if you remember, that's where the trailer hookup goes. So if we can just kind of put those into position. So there is the new Masterpiece Prime. For me, yes, he is definitely worth the money I paid for him. Maybe I would say paid a little bit more. Maybe if it were $50 less, but seeing as though this was an import toy, spending the extra money for stuff that I know that Hasbro will do to this figure to make it less desirable. Mainly, they'll cut off the stacks there. They always do for some reason. They'll have generally less paint designs. The chrome pieces will not be exactly, may not be all chrome. It may be done in just plastic, and for the extra money spent to import it, you know, I'd rather have the chrome bits there. So yes, I'm happy with my purchase. This is not for everybody. Again, it is a lot of money, and you know, if you're a G1 Transformers fan that does not have the original Masterpiece Prime, I do suggest you get this one. If you already have the other one, it's not needed, unless you want a smoother front cab look in his alt mode. I mean, maybe you do. That's up to you. I mean, this version looks cool in both modes. I do kind of hope they go back and release another Megatron in this one, so I can get both Optimus Prime and Megatron. I do miss some of the features of the original one, the light up eyes and Matrix, but I'm willing to pass on that. I was willing, you know, it's not that big of a deal. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this look at the new Masterpiece Prime. Oh, one more thing before I go. Here's Spike. He can go and sit and drive off in Optimus Prime. So that's a pretty cool additional feature as well. And so stay tuned for, hopefully, the next Transformer review will be some of the Transformer Prime toys. I'm eagerly waiting the release of those. Until my next review,